Hi, everybody. I am back from Arizona, back from seeing the amazing Bix Weir on the Road to Ruta Roadshow. Amy Ware was there. The kids were there. Our Amy Fulmer was there. So you guys are going to see her in just a minute. We're going to tell you all about it. Clint Westwood was out there with me. We got to tell some amazing information, make an announcement for Team Mighty. And we'll tell you all about that and more right after this. Hi, Amy. Long time no see.
I know. Oh, Lord, Lisa.
It's been a crazy, crazy day.
It
A
has
couple
been,
days. How many days has it been? I don't know. It's a whirlwind for me.
well, I lost track, but all I know is when I went to bed last night, you were leaving on an airplane. I woke up at no, listen, I wake up at 2 to check crypto. And I see on Twitter, there's a picture of you and Charlie driving in a snowstorm.
It's an actual blizzard that spanned the entire panhandle of Texas, all across I-40.
I was dying. I'm like, how did we go from leaving Sky Harbor Airport to in a car at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in a snowstorm? So what happened with you guys? How did that?
So we got up, what morning was that? Monday morning, getting ready to, after Sunday evening, we had this amazing dinner with Amy. It was so gracious. She's an amazing cook. Amy,
Oh, she cooked.
I'm
Wow.
sure Amy Fulmer is an amazing cook as well, but Amy Weir cooked dinner for.
Uh-oh, you just went away, Lisa. Oh, there you are.
Are we back?
Yeah, you just went away.
Sorry, guys. Hopefully that's. Oh, there's a bunch of music somewhere. Oh, you're checking the sound. I think we're good now. Yeah, so Amy Weir made this amazing dinner for everybody Sunday evening, and we got to talk about the whole weekend and share with everybody, and had some friends that little Joshy and Paigey brought over, and got to meet some great people. This guy Ben with the skull cap on over here, we'll get to know him. We're going to have him on Wednesday, tomorrow. He'll be joining us on the show. Really, really brilliant guy. I think you guys will really enjoy getting to know him better. Yeah, then we all went to bed, had a great time, got up, head to the airport with Daniel, our amazing Patriot Uber driver, who was into crypto. We met him our very first step off the plane in Arizona, and he came to the event at Bix's Road to Ruta Roadshow, and then just stayed with us all weekend. Every time we needed somewhere to go, he was right there for us. And we were, he was asking questions about crypto. He was asking about, what everybody thought about Biden's order about crypto, and just really he was really in it and on it, and a great patriot. And we were glad to get to know him better as well. So we get to the airport and the flight gets delayed. Then they change the gate. And then before you know it, they cancel the flight.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, what do you mean you canceled the flight? And they're like, oh, there's bad weather. So we live in Oklahoma City, Tornado Alley. So all those tornadoes that came through, I guess, North Texas and Southern Oklahoma were affecting flights. And so they just said, too bad. And then they said no flights through the end of the day because of spring break travel. The flights were booked up, and they couldn't get us a return flight till late Wednesday night. And then they were going to put one of us on one flight and one on another. And we didn't even know if we'd, make it home together. Anyway, it was a nightmare. And so we were like, forget it. We're just going to rent a car. At that point, like, your freedom, you are so at their mercy. And
Right.
it's just really unsettling. And with everything going on in the world right now, we're like, forget it, we're just renting a car. Well, then, back in the day, like, a month or two ago, you could,
Back in the day, a month
yeah,
ago.
you could rent a car for like $30 a day, or I don't know. Maybe it's different when it's one way, maybe it's a little bit more. It was over $1,000 to rent a
Oh.
car to come home.
Was it a Ferrari?
No, it was a little thing that you can hear the noise as we're driving in the videos, that the metal is vibrating on and shaking and the wind is
Oh.
blowing. I mean, it's a little shoebox. Um, no, no. Literally, it
Whoa.
fit Charlie and I and our two suitcases and my two purses in it.
Uh-huh.
That's it. That is all
Right.
that fit in the vehicle.
Wow.
Um, no.
Wow.
And so, but praise the Lord, it got us home safely. And Charlie and the angels kept us from sliding off in the ditch. Once we hit Amarillo, um, there was a blizzard. So there's tornadoes and blizzard. So I think, yeah, I think we earned the Crypto Warrior Roadshow award. But speaking of awards, so the big reason that we went out there, that it was so important, of course, to support Bix and Amy and the work that Road to Root is doing, spreading adoption and talking about freedom and helping people get sovereignty and getting their assets in their own possession. And we just love, how supportive they've been. But we made a big announcement for Team Mighty, and that was that we had to kind of restructure everything. Leukemia Lymphoma Society went woke. I know I've told you guys about that.
Right.
And we had to rewrite the foundation mission statement, which caused a bunch of upheaval with how the tax thing was filed. And then the attorneys had an opinion about something. And anyway, so Bix and Amy last year, when we went out to Arizona, got the community to gather around Team Mighty and celebrate Mia's. When we did Mia's celebration of her life, we do every year on her birthday, 4/15, tax day, which I think is kind of ironic that we can give a little jab to Uncle Sam and get people to give the other direction. They get a deduction actually for giving on her birthday. So they raised over $7,000. I think it was over 7,500, and Bix and Amy matched it, doubled
Wow.
the amount in a donation to us. So they sent us a check last year for $15,000. We were just shocked.
Wow. That's
And like,
beautiful.
we were so excited. And then with having to rewrite everything and having all these attorney expenses and all that, like, it was a huge blessing to the foundation. So we're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Well, then it was taking so long. And then I had to request something from the IRS. And you guys, something is going on there, that things are taking exorbitantly long amounts of
Right.
time.
Right.
Anyway, so finally got those documents, but then they made us like rewrite the check because it was written to the old foundation name, not the new foundation name. Anyways, big mess. They doubled the amount again.
Oh, Lisa.
And they said that
Wow.
it was, and Bix can tell the story. I don't want to take away or share any kind of personal details, but
Right.
he and Amy talked about it, and it's an amazing story. And then if you knew the stress that I felt on the other side of it, of like, oh my gosh, here these people have done this amazing thing and they're trusting us, and now this is, so I'm like sending them all these emails. I'm like, if you guys, anything you want to see, here's all the documentation, whatever you need to see. And they write the sweetest note, and they're like, it's the best use case, or this is for the best use case. And so I kept the letter. It's over in the file with the Team Mighty stuff. And so um, it was just really pretty amazing. And so we talked about like the way that they got the community around everybody, and then the way that they had such integrity with it. They were open with us. They had great communication. They trusted us. And So we talked about moving forward. The other thing Team Mighty wants to do is, yes, Mia is an inspiration. She's an inspiration. She changed my life. She changed so many people's life around us. I mean, my city looks different because of her. And I've had a lot of people tell me that, this is Edmond, little white suburbia, whatever. Well, it used to be. And then we were really influential in a large church and really involved in the community. And more people were asking questions about foster care and adoption. And now our neighborhood looks different, and our families look different, and our friends' families look different. And it's just
Right.
really beautiful to see all of that. And people not afraid to adopt a kid who might have special needs or challenge or not be the same color as their family, or, all of those different things. And so those are the kind of things that we want it to be, Mia to be that inspiration. And we want to use her birthday and her life to celebrate and remind everybody, but we want everybody to be part of Team Mighty. And so we're like, okay, we want to honor this idea and the heart behind what the Weirs did as far as bringing community together. And they just took action in their own hand. To Bix and Amy were like, okay, when we're out there in Arizona, we're going to do this thing and take up this offering, and we're going to have Lisa tell the story, and we want people to give to Team Mighty. And so they rallied around and created this call to action, and engaged the community and made it about more than just Mia. Started talking about, Bix shared his story about Toby, and they shared and brought the community together. And so that really was the inspiration. So now every year we're going to have a Team Mighty champion, which is somebody who embodies those same qualities or things that drove that we see in Bix and Amy. And so they're the inaugural very first Team Mighty champions. And then we'll be announcing the warrior. We're also going to have a warrior. So each year we'll have a champion and a warrior, Team Mighty champion and a warrior, that's announced on Mia's birthday, and that we'll celebrate. And then the warrior will be somebody who's struggling with or challenged with some of the same challenges that Mia faced or fought. So foster care, adoption, organ donation, cancer, heart issues, special needs. We've got a whole list.
So Lisa, the warrior will be a mother or a father or parents? Is that?
It could be anyone. It could be a child. It could be an adult. It could be, we have somebody, the board has decided who this year's recipients are. And so we'll be announcing that this year at our Team Mighty live stream. So we'll do like a little telethon like we did last year, where people can log on and give. And we're also going to be having people start to have an opportunity where I'm going to have a page or a place where people can start nominating people for next year, for next year's champion or warrior. And then we'll have more information about that. So I'm really excited about it and really thankful for them and their friendship. And it's just,
well, also, Lisa,
these amazing people. I love them so much.
If you think about it, what a beautiful thing. Crypto is bled over in so many aspects of everybody's lives. And I'm going to take it that if it wasn't for crypto, you wouldn't know Bix and Amy. That's right? Yeah.
If it wasn't for silver, I wouldn't. Yeah. And for crypto, for sure. I mean, mom is how I found out. Yeah. Met them. I mean, Bix is I tease him. I'm like, well, you're the godfather of crypto of our family, because my parents were following Bix for the old GATA days, and his road to Ruta from his old GATA days. And then, because my dad's an old, gold silver guy, and then Bix got into crypto, and then he wasn't even sure about it then. And then he got more and more into it. And then he was talking about Cliff and all that. And so that's where then when my mom shared crypto with my husband and I in 2017, that's when we started watching Road to Ruta. Then I met Bix when Ben came to Oklahoma City, because I hounded him in the chat and told him, come to Oklahoma City and I'll host you for your road show, for Ben's road show, for his first meetup on the road. And Bix came too. And I said, hi, I'm Litecoin Lisa. And he was like, well, hello. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, we never would have met each other without crypto, and Litecoin brought us all together too,
Yeah.
because we all
And
had that in common.
and this is the beautiful story, the power behind these stories is because when you trickle into the system with your interests, and whether it's silver and like how I met you in the chat, and
Hmm.
everyone's got such a powerful story and we're all there for different reasons. But then what starts to happen is the reason that we got there maybe isn't the reason that you end up pursuing, like it gets bigger then. And obviously no one likes a tragedy of losing a child to bring people together, but sometimes that's the beauty of the connection and of the tragedy. And I love this story because the power of the story, especially in today's world where there's so much darkness and there's so much negativity, and to see all this unfold is so inspirational. It's just beautiful, Lisa. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then, Jenny Moonstone's there, and we've become good friends, and there's just all these connections that are made. Well, and I think about Westwood, and my gosh, he's one of my closest friends now. And we met because he carried a box of shirts over at Bitcoin Bin through that big event for us in Blanco back in April after we did the, his first meetup in Oklahoma City. And that was to support Team Mighty. And so it was, I mean, Mia, even without her being here, brought so many people together,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
just really a cool thing. And I'm very
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
Very, very grateful. So we have, I don't know, just all this really cool stuff. So we made it home through the storm, yeah. I'm trying to see. I should go pull up some of my Twitter videos real quick. I wonder if I have. I don't know if I have one pulled up. Let me see real quick. I'm sure I have my latest. Well, I can find that whichever one you had seen.
Yeah, I saw the one that was posted. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and
Yeah, we were just pulling into.
and I was like, "Damn, Lisa, what now?" I was like,
Yeah.
"What is going on?"
Oh, there it is. Okay, hold on. Share Brave tab. Yeah, so here's the blizzard that we're driving in Amarillo. And we did kind of slide off once. There were several semis that were, off in the ditch, and there were several cars. In fact, one car literally in front of the hotel was just like in the ditch, and the wheel was going this way, and the other one in the front was going this way. I don't think they were going to be able to leave in that car, but it was not good. So we made it in, and like I said, Charlie and the angels kept us safe, and it was pretty incredible. But we got up this morning, and we just kind of slept in a little bit because we did get in so late. And then by then the roads were pretty clear, by about 9:30 or so, and we got in just in time to get everything set up at home and throw a hat on and get here for everybody at the show. So then here's this in the morning. I even showed the snow. We're leaving. This was in the morning leaving Amarillo.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It was pretty. And those are still you could see the semis back there that were still kind of going slow, waiting for them to clear more. So, and then we hit Oklahoma. I like to take little videos when I'm driving so everybody can see like how beautiful the United States is. Like we're driving through Santa Fe, or not Santa Fe, Albuquerque, and we're driving through, just all of it was so beautiful through Arizona. Oh, going through Payson, up in the mountains in
Yeah,
Payson, and you're like, you think of Arizona. If anybody told me that was Arizona, I'd call you a liar because there's pine trees and snow, and they said they're like, watch for wild horses and elk. And I'm like, what? It was beautiful.
Yeah, and Payson, Lisa, is a big prepper community.
Oh, really?
Oh, major patriot, major prepper. I mean, people from blue states, I don't even think can buy property in Payson. I mean, in Payson, it is hardcore, constitutional, freedom patriots. It's yeah, we went there last summer. It surprised me how green and lush it was. I thought it was really cool. In fact, I got some ammo there.
Well, good. That's awesome. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There's another stream in my Twitter thread if you guys want to go check it out, where I have a whole thread of like when we were driving the first day, because I was like, I'm not gonna blast everybody, but I'll just keep adding on this thread. But we drove through like Holbrook, Arizona, and then there was all these little old towns, and I love the Main Street thing, so I got my new hat. It says Route 66, Main Street, America.
Nice.
So that was my little thing from the trip. So.
Yeah. So when you were doing the drive across, did Charlie GPS it, or did you put it on your phone, or how did you do that last minute?
Yeah, no, it's no big deal. Just we use Waze, or mostly we use Waze because it has like a social thing with it where it like, so you can put in, oh, there's the police, there's the something on the side of the road, so it has a social aspect to it. And so, and then you, as you're driving up, then you can say, no, they're not there anymore, or yes, they're there. Or if you see a hazard on the road or something, you'd say car parked on the side of the road or something.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
And it gives it has you tagged in GPS, so like you can tell where traffic slows down or whatever, and it will reroute you.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really
cool.
Good.
Yeah. Awesome.
Great
well,
app.
I'm glad you guys are back and you're safe. And
thank you. It was a great trip.
I guess the next step is a private airplane.
I don't know. I love an adventure. I love our country. I mean, Charlie was like not happy about it. I should go find that. The very first picture, I'm like, leaving Arizona. He goes, you wanted your adventure. And he's like all cranky in the picture. And I'm like, all excited.
For a road trip.
Yeah, I love it. I would do it all the time. I think it's beautiful, and I like seeing all of it. I think, I don't know where it is. Somewhere in New Mexico, it's the most hilarious thing. There's these beautiful red cliffs, and then they have like fake dinosaurs and teepees, and it is the most bizarro little funny thing. It reminds me of like that somebody maybe put it up in the 50s, back when Route 66, and the families would go and whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just makes me smile, and I love it. It makes me think, oh, back when America was sweet and innocent. And
well, let's look at it this way. America will always be America. It's our government that's the problem. It's not America.
I agree. People are good. Yeah.
I'm going to hang on to, we're such a special, special country, but our government is in the process of dismantling that, and they're on a mission. And oh, by the way, the media, as I harp on this and I harp on it and I harp on it, but I'm always galled because the media has so much control over the bell curve of normies, and their indoctrination is getting so good, and it's getting better and better and better. And, one of the things I wanted to go over today was something I saw on Bloomberg, because the reason I wanted to show you this, you guys, is, there's the analogy of the frog in the pot. It gets hotter and hotter, and you don't really necessarily know it's getting turned up. Well, I think the media is getting bolder and bolder and bolder. Like I'm talking like CNN, Bloomberg, MSNBC. Lying is the new normal. Lying is the new truth. I mean, it's nothing to get up there and completely lie about our economic numbers, the CPI numbers, the data numbers. It's all lies. But I saw, Lisa, if you will open up the first slide on Bloomberg, I mean,
Yeah.
they really crossed a line with me. I mean,
It's so, yeah, this is,
yeah, I mean,
you go
this
ahead.
is Bloomberg. Now, Bloomberg, you guys, as you guys probably know, is a financial news, old world, been around forever. Michael Bloomberg, it's his kind of thing. And they decided to go ahead and they wanted to put out some tips on inflation. So this is their idea of tips on inflation. So this is like if you earn like $300,000 or $300,000 or less a year, then you need these tips. Okay. And this is what they're suggesting. This is Bloomberg, you guys. They're suggesting that basically, since if you've adopted pets or you have a pet since the pandemic, pets are expensive. And if you can't afford care for them, you'll just let them die.
So I saw a tweet similar to this, not this horrific, but this same mindset of the narrative is starting to, instead of addressing inflation, they're trying to, it's kind of like sucky telling people, well, if you can't afford gas, go buy a, $50,000 electric car or whatever.
Right.
They
Right.
said something about, it was a tweet about, oh, go, here's about pinching pennies, or don't buy these products anymore, buy these cheaper things. And
Yeah.
that's where they're starting to say, well, don't buy meat, buy plant-based
Well,
things.
that's what this
Food.
article says, Lisa,
Oh
at the
my
end.
gosh.
Go back. I mean, this,
Mm.
they come up with three things. Now, first of all, they cross the line when they talk about the pet thing. I mean, that just, I was like, these people will stop at nothing. Okay. Then their second thing is they suggest that you stop driving cars. Well, that's not exactly going to happen anytime soon. But then they take it to the next level and they say to alter your diet and eat less or no meat.
Well, Amy, all of those things are the Green New Deal.
Right, right, Lisa.
And what's interesting is you're finding this article. I'm seeing a tweet that's a totally different article.
Right.
And so we know this is the Mockingbird media.
Yes.
And
yes.
we know where that came from. They were public about it.
Right. Right. Right.
So,
and don't all of you guys get your diet and nutrition information from Bloomberg? You know what I mean? And oh, by the way, they want you to eat all this manufactured plant food, like this fake meat, all this Monsanto, all this stuff that makes you sick. It dumbs down your brain. I mean, listen, if someone wants to be a vegan or a vegetarian, please do that. I mean, everyone knows their body. But me, I like my meat rare, bloody and rare, and I like my meat, I mean.
Well, this is another point. So they're wanting you to eat, like you said, manufactured vegan products. So when I had Jim Willie on recently, we did an almost 2-hour interview, and we talked for almost an hour before that. But he's talking about shortages of this petro-based fertilizer that's used to come from Russia or supposed to come from Russia, but that we're going to be short on, that we use, I guess, currently for our crops. And I'm thinking, whoa, 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 whoa. Did you just listen to what you said? We have a petro-based fertilizer for our crops that we're putting on our plant. That does not, you don't eat Vaseline.
Right.
That's not, my mama raised me better than that.
Right.
We know better than that.
Right.
So what, that doesn't make, we're doing things that don't make sense, but is that being brought to our attention through all this?
Well, I mean, Lisa, as I can see it, we're going to have a complete scrapping of every single system. Like, I thought for the longest time that we could transition and kind of meld things. Number one, we've been getting our pharmaceuticals from China since, for the past almost 20 years. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Number two, we've been getting the majority of our fertilizer from Russia, and I believe parts of Ukraine as well. Why can't we get American farmers that have cattle? And Lisa, you drove across America. You saw the open. We have so much land in this country.
So much land.
Why would we bring in manure from Russia? And what's in that manure?
He's not saying it's manure. Petrochemical product.
As fertilizer.
Manure. It's a chemical. And see, that's the other thing. So my hippie cowboy friend in has a farm south of Oklahoma City, and he has part of his property, a good, I don't know, I think it's over 80 acres, that he said, oh, that land's dead. And I said, what do you mean it's dead? And he said, Lisa, I would have to spend so much money on fertilizers because of the way that they're taught to farm nowadays, that it wouldn't be cost effective of me even farming that land because of the cost of the fertilizer that it would take to get that land to grow the GMO crap that you grow nowadays.
Right.
So that's not, it's just insane to me. Our land, they're killing our land with this fake fertilizers and putting fake food in the ground and killing our food and then giving us that fake food to eat.
Right. Yes.
And to go back to what you were saying about drug shortages. So yes, the medication was processed in China, but it was sourced out of India. And we have a strong relationship with India. And when Mr. T was in office, he was working on getting Puerto Rico to be our new processing center for medicines.
I remember that. Right.
Yes.
Right.
And today is World Water Day. And I saw, and I retweeted there was an announcement from the World Water Day. And she's standing in Costa Rica. Is it Costa Rica? Puerto Rico. This is Costa Rica. So this is different. I was thinking it was Puerto Rico. Sorry, I haven't slept much. Never mind, distraction. But it made me think of that with Puerto Rico. But we can process our own medication, and we can have that partnership for sourcing it out of India. We just need to do that ourselves and not be so dependent of China. But Canon's meds, they're already telling me that stuff is delayed, that things are, there's shortages already. So Canon's on, like, he has a giant bag of meds for all his heart issues. And they're already starting to tell me there's delays.
Well, this is going to get complicated, but here's the deal. We may have had a good relationship with India, but right now we're pissing everybody off. The Biden administration is pissing everybody off. So we've got a tremendous amount of damage control to do unless you're like me with your conspiracy hat theory.
It depends on what you believe is going on.
Right.
Publicly and not.
Right. Who's really in control here? Because the layers and layers of psyops, like the fact that Bloomberg would come out, like if 10 years ago, Bloomberg had come out and said, just let your animals die because of the 2008 housing crisis. PETA, PETA.
Yeah, where's PETA coming down?
Where's PETA? They would have gone, people would have gone, they would have canceled their Bloomberg subscriptions. They would have called Michael Bloomberg, read him a new one.
That's a great point.
Whereas what's happening, Lisa, as time is going by, it's becoming more that we're getting more and more and more indoctrinated. Now, the good news is, though, I've got to always give the counterbalance. We are having a portion of the U.S. population that's starting to see where the Band-Aid's being ripped off. I have a friend of mine who is double vaxxed in one booster and then received some information I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to get us in trouble. So I'll pick my
Right.
words gingerly.
Right.
But due to the infection, she'd gotten the medication, and I had tried my best to tell her no. And then I backed off. She got the medication. Then she read some information that came out, and she's livid. She's livid. And she said, she wrote me, she goes, "Why are you always right?" And it's not that I have to be right. I don't want to be
No.
right.
Well, and that's the problem, is that, like, it's not going to be, we've talked about this, like, it's going to be where, we just have to help people through it. And there's not everything that we're going to be right on, but there's a lot of things that we had information on. And that Jim Willie interview is amazing. One of the things he says is that the military has been re-inaugurating. Is that the right word? No, that's not the right word. What word did he use? You have to go watch it.
Is it, Lisa, is it on your Patreon?
It's on my page. I can only have it for Patreon.
It's got to be behind the paywall.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Jim Willie at his finest.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. That's a whole other rabbit hole of,
yeah. But someone else the military's been acknowledging somebody else every 3 months.
Right. And, what we're seeing, the PSYOP, the movie, is getting more and more and more twisted and convoluted.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, Lisa, I want to talk about, well, I do want to get to this Supreme Court nomination, this woman. But before we get there, let's go to the Stormy Daniels. You sent me this. I thought this was great. I
was like, please tell me this means the storm is over.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I don't think it is. But,
No,
I had to have a little play on words there.
So Trump wins the Stormy Daniel case, so now we found out that, he was right all along about the Russian collusion and Hillary Clinton spying on him. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on and on. And, here's the Stormy Daniels that, pretty much exonerated Trump. Now, listen, whether he sleeps with a hooker or not I could care less. I could literally care less. But the fact that the left used this when you've got Hunter Biden, who is doing the most nefarious things.
Well, that's come out and been validated by the New York Times as well. And because of the New York Times validating the laptop from hell, that has now confirmed like 8 other stories inside that. The big 10, the 10 for the big guy, several of those other stories that were found on the laptop from hell.
Lisa, are we 100% confirmed that the New York Times validated that? I mean, is that 100%? Yes. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because I had seen a few different things.
Join my Patreon. You'll have all kinds of links for that. I post all my research in there.
Well, I'll tell you what, the
New
York Times is the leftist manifesto. You know what I mean? And if they're
no, in fact, I think I have the where Project Veritas called them out on it. I mean, we can go look at it. But this, to wrap up the Stormy Daniels, she owes him now $300,000. This has already gone through appeals. It's not including the appeals costs, but this is including the original lawsuit costs. And then the lawsuit was purely a political stunt, should have never been started. Please, his lawyers were able to bring it to a successful conclusion after court fully rejected her appeal. So
So here's the idea here is that, you have these things that they're old news and people don't really care anymore. But when you're trying to talk to people, see, my concern now at this moment moving forward is we still have people thinking the mainstream media is real information. It's becoming a bigger problem by the day, Lisa. It's becoming such a big problem. And as time goes on, their ability to manipulate the masses is getting more and more nefarious. And we have less and less and less truth. So it's very important, if you've got someone in your life that's a normie or a lefty, you can grab some of this information that we put up and just say, hey, listen, this is what was said about this. People, they crucified Trump because of the Stormy Daniels thing. And then it turned out that it wasn't what it appeared to be. And that's the thing. Things are not what they appear to be. And that's where it gets really tricky when we're going to navigate the next chapter of our story, you guys. And the next chapter is coming faster and faster and faster and faster. The story is speeding up. And if you're not grounded in what your reality is and where you're going, the people around you are going to mess you up. And we can't have that happening.
Like, this is part of it. Hold on. This is part of, hold on, I've got to.
Lisa, there's no audio, sweetie.
Sorry, it muted it. Okay, hold on. Let me.
That's all right. You were driving all night long in a snowstorm.
Project Veritas has just obtained documents showing the SDNY was spying on Project Veritas journalists well before the FBI raided the homes of our journalists last November, secretly reading our emails, concealing that from the court in our case against the SDNY.
In November 2021, the FBI raids our homes and seizes 47 electronic devices, including cell phones, laptops, and thumb drives. Within 5 days, U.S. District Court Judge Annalisa Torres ordered the Southern District of New York to pause its review of my devices, and within a month, ordered the SDNY to turn our seized materials over to a special master who would supervise the SDNY's review to protect our First Amendment and journalistic privileges. Recently obtained legal documents from Microsoft Corporation reveal that despite Judge Torres's orders, between November 2020 and April 2021, the Department of Justice went to 6 magistrates and obtained a series of secret warrants, orders, and a subpoena to surreptitiously collect privileged communications and contacts of 8 American journalists, myself included, from Microsoft. The DOJ even sought and obtained numerous secrecy orders preventing Microsoft from disclosing the surveillance to anyone. The SDNY also went around Judge Torres and the special master and obtained 2 secrecy orders after the special master had been appointed. The SDNY's surveillance of Project Veritas journalists was done as part of the DOJ's unprecedented investigation into Ashley Biden's diary. The documents collected from these email accounts date back as far as January 2020, 8 months before we even knew the diary existed. While the special master litigation proceeded, the government apparently misled the court by omission, by not disclosing that it had already obtained other privileged materials. The SDNY was ordered to turn over all materials to the special master. They didn't. The SDNY was ordered to stop reviewing our materials. They didn't. The SDNY has an obligation to be honest with the court. They weren't.
Okay, this was the one about Ashley's diary. Then there's the one about the laptop from hell. The same thing. Like, they had all this information and they didn't do anything about or take action with what was on that. This is also a huge story, you guys. There's a big hacker thing that stole customer data from Circle, BlockFi, and some other big crypto things. But we'll have to talk about that another day or another video. But that's big news. The Disney employees, that was a huge thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, where's my? No, oh wait, nope. Okay. No, that's the Ukraine stuff. New World Order. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Bill Barr says Joe Biden lied to Americans about Hunter Biden's laptop, and I was very disturbed. So this is Bill Barr saying it himself. And he's saying the former U.S. attorney. So wait, you have to listen to the article because listening to the article says more than what just the article says. I did this. Right. I listened to this, and then it was like, oh no, here it is. So it does say the rest of it. Damn it, Mr. President, I'm not going to talk to you about all this, period. Okay. So he goes into it and says former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr appears on America Reports Monday, said he was shocked to hear then candidate Joe Biden lie about his son Hunter's laptop during the 2020 presidential debate. The New York Times recently confirmed the legitimacy of the laptop, breaking with the media's earlier position that the laptop and its contents were unverifiable and the product of a, quote, Russian disinformation campaign.
Whoa.
America's Reports co-host John Roberts asked Barr where the Department of Justice DOJ investigation into the laptop could be headed, giving mention to a heated exchange between Barr and Trump in reference to the former Attorney General's book, One Damn Thing After Another. Barr responded that he was limited in what he could discuss because of possible ongoing investigations, but acknowledged that he was previously against injecting a criminal investigation against the Biden son without, quote, definitive judgment. Damn it, Mr. President, I am not going to talk to you about Hunter Biden, period. Barr allegedly told Trump in the months leading up to Election Day. Barr maintained that he would have said the same thing today, asserting that he would not discuss criminal cases with Trump. Despite his disagreement with the former president, Barr noted that he was, quote, very disturbed that Biden lied to the American people about the laptop during the presidential debate in October 2020. Quote, he squarely confronted with the laptop, and he suggested that it was Russian disinformation and pointed to the letter written by some intelligence people that was baseless, which he knew was a lie. And I was shocked by that, Barr said. Well, I wasn't shocked, but he can be shocked.
Not really.
Yeah. Barr added that he believed that the suppression of the laptop was the example of the election interference, but he said he did not want to venture an opinion on whether Biden could face any legal liability for his role in the laptop.
God, just shoot me now. You know, Lisa, if a regular person on the street did that stuff, they'd be handcuffed so fast. I mean, this is so gruesomely in your face. And it is coming out and out, but it's like you've got to crowbar people to listen to this because they've been so mind controlled that orange man bad still. Can you go to the AOC tweet slide?
You're in the news all the time, and this is still being suppressed that you didn't know. You were like, well, is it really confirmed? Yes.
Well, I was wondering about the New York Times because I saw some stuff on the cover and I wasn't sure if it was photoshopped or real, and I couldn't find verification on another issue. And so, because I don't trust anything, I just want to make sure that
right. No, I think that's really responsible.
Because I know Photoshop now, Lisa, can make articles be put into things, and you know.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So check out the AOC tweet I showed you.
Yeah.
because this to me, you guys, I think this should be refloated out before it's taken down. This was tweeted out by her in November, I think of 2020, May of 2020, May of 2020. It has been deleted. Okay. She has since deleted this tweet. And this is what she says. I mean, this to me is unbelievable. This is now, bear in mind, November of 2020. It's vital that governors maintain restrictions on businesses until after the November elections, because economic recovery will help Trump be re-elected. A few business closures or job losses is a small price to pay to be free from his presidency. Then she deleted this tweet.
Shame on her.
She is dealing with people's lives. A few small businesses. How about 70% of the small businesses in America since the infection are now closed and done? 70, not 7, not 17, 7D. How dare her? And job losses? Are you kidding me? The unemployment rate is more like 40%. And Biden comes out, lie after lie, and says that he's dropped unemployment to 3.5%. That is absolute and total fraudulent lies.
Well, they're lying nonstop. I mean, I couldn't even watch. We're, driving, and I'm trying to catch up on as much news as I can in the car because Charlie's driving. And I was like, there was one press release, and then I think it was a State Department speech or something, just blatantly lying to the American public.
Yeah, so lying is the new truth. And what they're doing, Lisa, is they're slowly but surely normalizing lying. And what that does for us, truth and freedom and, patriotic constitutionalists, it messes us up with our friends and family, because when, I still have normies, I still have liberals in my life, friends and families that are in my life. They're getting their news from these sources and they believe it. It's so they think I'm the crazy one. So what we need to do, guys, is be very clear. And if you want to save a few of these things, another great resource is that VAERS website. And that information has to be verified by a doctor. And they just updated it like a couple days ago. Oh my God. The damage from the medication,
which we're not going to talk about.
And that's why, Lisa, I didn't even take a picture of it.
Yeah.
And send it. No, I'm just saying now and that's been watered down.
No, I sent a BitChute to my patrons, and my mom didn't open it right away. I think she waited till sometime this morning or this afternoon. It's already been taken down, but it talked about military reporting numbers, and they've increased they're in the increased by the thousands of percent or something. So
right.
There's like 18 to 40-year-olds or something like that.
So what Cliff originally talked about in his data, to my understanding, is coming true, but they're not talking about it. So unless you know someone who's quote unquote passed from the infection, they're saying it's the infection, but then when they dig in, they've had the medication. So they're not saying really what happened.
Yeah, we'll find out. I do think it's interesting. There was an article. I think they're trying to get people to be educated. I think the good guys are trying to get people to be educated. The America's Voice. If you guys aren't following America's Voice on Twitter, you should follow America's Voice or go find, maybe they have a website. But they are bringing attention to Myanmar and what's happening in Myanmar, which is formerly called Burma. Now, when you look at that, understand that you may be not being told the truth about you. It may be a similar situation to Ukraine. Look at it with a critical eye and an open mind, but some of the words or education, they may start leaking out things that may apply here in the future.
You were very careful with those words, Lisa.
Yes. Do your own research. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So, in light of that,
yeah, we probably won't hit on some of these, but what else do you want to?
well, I'm going to finish up with one last thing. Is there's word out on the street that Dr. Fauci is being called upon to retire. So
Well, he's old.
He's old, but he may be going sooner than we know, which would be, one less egregious person to have to deal with. But what I wanted to, Lisa, finish up with is a small video, and it's, that we just passed this bill. Okay, this bill. These bills are like almost 3,000 pages, and they're jam-packed with information. And what they do is they throw them out to Congress and stuff, and they say, listen, we're going to vote on this tomorrow. Like, if you took a year, you couldn't read through that stuff and figure it out. So this is part of their plan because they're controlling the House and the Senate now. They're getting their agendas pushed through. So I was reading this Zero Hedge article, which, was talking about, and meanwhile, we're all paying for this, all of us Americans, and we're broke. We don't have the money. Our vets are on the street. Okay. Our children in America are, people are needing meals. We are now more food compromised for children than we've ever been in the history of America, including the Great Depression. So we need to take care of our people first. But here's the deal. We're passing all these spending bills. Now, understand that when these spending bills get passed, the money never gets to the end game. It gets greased into the palms of the people and the legislators and the lobbyists. They all get nice perks, bennies, and checks. So I liked this journalist, Lisa. And so if you open the article and scroll down, there's it's about a 3-minute clip. It's beautiful. This is the beginning, you guys, of what I'm calling ripping the Band-Aid off, starting to expose the truth. I don't know who this guy is and who the journalist is, the reporter, the person interviewing him. But he does such a great job of framing up. There it is, Lisa, right there, this. And I want you guys to listen to this and end it with it, because this is more of what we need. And again, if you want to save this information, give it to some of your normie friends, give it to some of your liberal friends, because this is so in your face about where our money is going. And right now, we need our money here in America.
The waste of the week goes to a $1.5 trillion spending bill that was released and passed in less than 24 hours, and the State Department for improperly labeling billions of dollars worth of expenses. Joining us now, the president and CEO of OpenTheBooks.com, Adam Andrzejewski. Adam, great to see you this morning. Happy Friday. Good morning to you.
Happy Friday, Jen.
So ahead of President Biden signing the $1.5 trillion spending bill, the House had released and passed this bill in 24 hours. Were lawmakers and American citizens even able to even read the bill before it was passed in the House?
No, it was 2,700 pages long, Jan. I mean, when's the last time you've read 10 books? I mean, lawmakers voted on this thing. They didn't know what they were voting on, but Republicans cheered because the Department of Defense, their budget went up by 6%. Democrats cheered because the social service agencies and executive agencies, their spending went up by 7%. However, it was passed so fast, nobody knew it was in there, and you and I, we're paying the bill, Jane.
Right. And there's so much wasteful spending in it. Let's talk about some of the wasteful spending that you found in there. You found $3 million for it to go to Guam for fishermen right there, $1 million to a refrigerator training facility. What is some of this? Farm to refrigerator training facility. What is some of this stuff? A museum in Vermont, GMU Center for Climate Change. What is all this stuff, Adam?
So, Jan, those are just 4 examples out of 4,400 examples of what's called earmarks. Earmarks is the currency of corruption in Washington, D.C. It is member pet projects. Those line-by-line projects are stuffed in these bills to ensure member votes. from both parties. And look, it's a pork fest. 4,400 of those earmarks, 367 pages of examples just like that.
And what's important here is that you're being proactive in all of this, because what you're trying to do, Adam, and your organization is trying to do is sponsor a petition that you hope will prevent bills from being released and passed in a short time frame like this. So talk us through the petition that you have right now. Have you received any congressional support for this?
Yes, we've seen congressional support. U.S. Senator Rick Scott from Florida has the Senate resolution that would put this into law in the Senate. It would force a 72-hour, a 3-day timeout, a pause, so people, pundits, politicians, so all of us could find out what's actually in the legislation. Yeah. We've got 15,000 signatures on that petition at our website at openthebooks.com.
Yeah, they definitely need longer than 24 hours. You also took a look at the U.S. Inspector General ruling that the State Department improperly labeled $4.7 billion worth of expenses. How in the world did that happen?
So the State Department didn't know where to place $4.7 billion worth of expenses. They didn't know which fund account to put it in. Can't imagine if you did this at a Fortune 500 company. People would be fired and your stock price would plummet.
Goodness gracious, Adam. Before I let you go, I want to go back in January when you were let go from Forbes after NIH demanded a correction on a report that you released of Dr. Anthony Fauci's finances. Adam, what's the latest on that?
So I published the inside story of how fact-finding Fauci led to my cancellation at Forbes. It's published at Substack. We're on our website at openthebooks.com. There's basically two findings. Number one, that there are really rotten things going on with the spending of your taxpayer dollar. And number two, when you expose those things, Jan, the government comes down hard. The government came down hard on Forbes. Forbes came down hard on me. I told the truth, and they pulled the plug.
All right, Adam, best of luck to you. I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us this morning here on the...
Wow. Brave guy. Where's that link that you can join or share their sign our petition here?
Oh, good, Lisa. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. That's awesome.
So we can
great.
Share that. I'll put it in the description so people can.
Oh, that's great.
Share that.
Yeah, you think that they're at least supposed to read what they sign into law.
That's insane.
And there's Fauci being called upon it's time to retire. I don't know, maybe he's already been.
What was that song Bix and I sang? Maybe it's time to let the old ways die.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, so long, farewell. Oh man. So the link is in the chat, and I will put it in the description after we get off of here. Wow. What a wild weekend. I wanted to share the picture of us with Westwood too. Hold on one sec. Let me find this extra.
All of you guys in the chat have to come to the next meetup. It's so much fun. So much fun. And yes, Tom, that means you.
He's coming. He's going to be here this weekend.
Okay.
For in Oklahoma City, the information scrolling across the bottom for the Happy Hour Roadshow meetup in Oklahoma City at the Wilshire Gun Club from 4 to 6, March 25th, Litecoin Day, the 84th day of the year. And then the very next day, I'll be speaking at something was canceled. Make sure I didn't cancel it. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully we didn't lose something. The very next day, I'll be speaking at Bitcoin Day, and you can go and get your tickets at bitcoinday.io. Use code Lisa to get 10% off on March 26th. So you guys can have information on both of those. There it is, Lisa Amy Clint. Now share screen. So this was the picture that I used for the thumbnail, Amy. I didn't get to show her yet.
Okay, yeah, look at us. There's a motley crew. There is a motley crew.
We were all kinds of trouble all day and had a great time. If you guys haven't watched that, go check it out. Well, he doesn't stream it. Oh, he watch it on the Road to Ruta. I think you have to go to his website, roadtoruta.com, to watch the show. Because I know he can't put it on the you-know-what tube. And there's my cute hubby in the back with his little white shorts and blue shirt, chatting it up with all the nice people at the event. And we had a great time. I got to meet Ocean Wave. She was there. We had the main squeezes there. There were just a lot of amazing people. I love it. I love being out there and being with the people and talking about freedom. And Bix was so sweet. We started talking about Team Mighty, and then he like surprised me and he was like, Lisa, come up here. You're going to sing with me. So he got me to sing with him. It was really fun. But we'll do it again. We love our Arizona trip. So hopefully it's something every year. And go to gongster.com and check out the amazing, we all did this energy healing together with our frequency healing with the Gongster. And I'm going to, once I can unpack, reach out to her and have her on the show and talk to her. She's an amazing woman, has had an amazing life, and she's now helping to heal people through frequency and sound. And she has these 2 beautiful Airbnbs that I've got some plans. I'm going to plot and plan with Amy and see if we can do some healing for some grieving moms there. So,
or any grieving parents.
Yeah. Well,
dads too. Yeah.
I think it'll be good.
Yeah, that would be great, Lisa. We'll do that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow on Woo Woo Wednesday. We'll have Ben here, my new friend that I met out in Arizona. And of course, the Public Awakening will be with us. So you guys, we'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Give us a like, share this video, get some truth out there. And remember, God bless America. I love our country. It's so beautiful. I mean, it might have been a hard time getting back here, but it was so worth it. And I'd do it all over again. So see you guys next time.